The spectrum of cars out there is the size of the world itself, and the only way to see them is to actually go there. And so when an opportunity to film car culture in New Zealand came up, thanks to Andy, Kaz, and Rob, the creators of Automation, we took them up on it and brought back these films. Automation is the first car company tycoon game where you can design your own cars and engines in crazy technical detail, test them, and create your own version of the perfect car company. And rather than buying banner ads, they called on us to help sell it. Without them, we wouldn't have these videos, so check out their game at automationgame.com. As we continue our tour of New Zealand, one thing becomes abundantly clear. A massive percentage of the tuner car landscape is made up of Japanese domestic market cars. Because of New Zealand's lax import laws, which are a basic necessity down there, the entire country is a JDM dream come true. From Skylines to Silvias to the best of Mitsubishi and Subaru, Japanese performance cars are plentiful, affordable, and frequently tuned to massive numbers. But for this film, we wanted something rare even by New Zealand standards. A car I've never seen in person before and didn't even know what it was when I first saw a photo. This is a Toyota Chaser. It looks like a stretched 1990s Camry with an Acura Legend nose. It blends. It disappears. In traffic, you wouldn't look at it twice, except underneath the comfy seats, rear legroom, and Japanese kitsch, you'll find a Supra. So much boost!
Actually, the whole reason for building the car was to get away from modifying cars. After having a myriad of different vehicles, all sorts of hybrid converted cars, 450 horsepower Integra, F20 powered AE86, decided, hey, I better grow up and buy something that's a little bit more mature and a bit more comfortable. The bet with all the friends were that I'd own the car for a day before I started modifying it. They won the bet.
He's made some adjustments to this car for the shoot day, which frankly, I might not have done. He wanted it to look cool, so it's sitting nice and low, but he also, the running gear of the car hangs very low underneath, and he didn't want it to bottom out on us, so he's set it quite stiff. So it's a bit jittery in here right now, and not really luxury sedan.
It was a luxury car. So it was extremely comfortable when I first bought the car. I used it as a daily driver when I was working at my previous employment. Unfortunately, as the bug bites and you get itchy and you want to make it faster, you've got to make it a bit more, grippable. So, the Recaro seats are from a DC2 Type R. In terms of comfort, dial the suspension back and it's a perfect daily driver. Take it out to these roads out in Coromandel, wind the suspension up, make it nice and tight, nice and firm, and it handles like an absolute dream.
Because of the gearing, it's not really good for quarter mile, but on highway racing, it is pretty spectacular. Not that the owner is admitting to highway racing, of course. This is an alleged situation. Also, allegedly, when he goes out drifting with his mates on Thursday night, it's quite good at that. Oh my God.
Engine's a 1JZ. It's a variable valve timing one, so it's a later model motor. Very, very uncommon in terms of, the 1Js and 2Js to have a variable valve timing setup, because they only come in a very small amount of cars, and this is one of them.
It's not a light car. It weighs about 3,700 pounds. But it is a full-size sedan with safety features. It's got a bump-in stereo system, which I'd love to play for you, except international copyright law prevents me from using any of the music that I might play out of it. There are quite a lot of gauges happening here. There's a tach with a shift light, there's a boost controller, an ECU monitoring computer, a boost gauge, a water temperature gauge, air-fuel ratio gauge. So lots of information, a bit busy up here on the dashboard. Funny enough, the carbon dash on this and all the trim around the window surrounds looks aftermarket, but was original equipment on this vehicle. So I'll just take you through the rev range. At low RPMs, right, it sounds very engine-like, right? Mechanical, it's like when it gets onto boost though, the engine sound is completely replaced by just rushing air. And it sounds like you've built a nuclear vacuum cleaner. It's just the best.
I had the motor actually rebuilt around about sort of 2013. We had some problems with the valve stem seals failing, and unfortunately, you know, with something like that, you've got to pull the head off to repair it. And you know, with the whole itch and all that sort of stuff, you pull the head off. Oh well, the head's off. Might as well get the you know, do the cams while the head's off. Oh, the head's off. Might as well refresh the bottom end. So you know, what was supposed to be a weekend job to, you know, do the valve stem seals ended up being an absolute nightmare, but a nightmare that was well worth it in the end, because 100 extra kilowatt on top, going from 220 kilowatt before to 320 kilowatt now. It's so fun to drive it.
How many kilometers are on this thing? Uh-oh. Oh, that's... There's a button here. I thought it was to check the odometer, but it actually just blacks out all the gauges. That's neat. There's some weird JDM stuff in here too, like the swinging vents. It's got these oscillating vents. I think we got them in the States in a couple of Mazdas, but we never had them in a Lexus or a Toyota, and that's really cool. So New Zealand is about a few things. You know, it's about home build, garage, ingenuity. It's about freedom to kind of do whatever you want, as long as you're not making other motorists unsafe with your build. You're kind of free to take your own life into your hands here, which I like. It's a personal responsibility thing. And also, this country has some very lax importation laws. So you will see cars from Japan, from Europe, from America. It's just this melting pot of cars, and I love that.